This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the home of the world's most famous race, the Indianapolis 500, and starting in 2014, an IndyCar road course race that will include the entire Mazda Road to Indy. It's May 10th of 2014, and construction to improve and modify the course is going on throughout the fall. Thanks for joining us. Along with Jeremy Shaw, I'm Kevin Lee, and we're going to recap the second half of the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda in this hour. And Jeremy, before we recap the second half, let's get folks up to speed on what happened in that first half.
It was a tremendously exciting first half of the season, particularly for Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. Scott Hargrove and Neil Alberico, they pretty much dominated proceedings. Hargrove won 3 of the first 4 races. Alberico won the other one, but he failed to finish 3 of those 4 as well. So he was a long way back in the point standings, but Alberico is making a charge now in the second half of the season.
And we start that second half recap with the first of a triple header. The scenic and technically challenging Mid-Ohio sports car course set amongst the rolling hills of Lexington, Ohio, opened the second half of the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda season in early August. A 30-car strong field was set to do battle in the triple header weekend of racing in support of the IZOD IndyCar Series and featuring the entire Mazda Road to Indy contingent. The first race, held Saturday morning, was hampered by rain. Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing's Neil Alberico, who started on pole, led most of the way, although teammate and championship points leader Scott Hargrove did take the point with a magnificent outside line pass in turn 1 on a lap 13 restart. At the next corner, Belardi Auto Racing's Danilo Estrella, who was running third, also slipped past Alberico into the keyhole, but lost control, clipping race leader Hargrove and forcing him into a gravel trap. Hargrove was undamaged and barely avoided additional contact, but rejoined well down the order in 17th, while Alberico was long gone in the lead to claim his 4th win of the year. Meanwhile, R.C. Anderson, who started 6th, profited from the melee to score a career-best second-place finish for Z Sports Midwest with Team E Racing. Local driver Jason Wolf from Mount Vernon, Ohio, also scored his first-ever podium finish with a 3rd for Pabst Racing Services. And the Tilton Hard Charger Award went to Englishman Michael Epps of Belardi Auto Racing, who used his extensive wet weather experience to rise from 17th to a career-best 5th. So here are the results, with Alberico picking up his 4th win of the season, Anderson also on the podium along with Jason Wolf, Florian Latour, and Michael Epps rounding out the top 5. In victory lane, the winner.
Yeah, the conditions were definitely tough. I mean, when you have a rain, drying situation, everyone's trying to learn lines. Especially with such a short race, you know, everybody's trying different things every lap. But ultimately, it just kind of came down to keeping the car on track and focusing on your own run. The Capes made a great decision to go the setup that they did, and the team always has done a great job in the wet, things like this, so definitely give them a lot of credit.
To the points now, Hargrove's 17th place finish and Alberico's win narrows the gap on the championship, and Estrella also somewhat within striking distance, Latour and White Gooden rounding out the top 5. Coming up next, we'll call the action, lap-by-lap coverage of the second USF2000 race at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Stay with us. This is the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda with Jeremy Shaw and Kevin Lee. We're joined now by Connor Daly, the 2010 Star Mazda champ, the Firestone Indy Lights and GP3 winner, and now a veteran of the Indianapolis 500. And we are set for round number 9 of 14. This is race number 2 of 3 for the Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio. Neil Alberico won the first race earlier this day in the wet, and Jeremy, he starts on the pole for race number 2.
But boy, what a difference it was from this morning. The first race was absolutely diabolical conditions. Now it's absolutely perfect.
4th pole of the season for Alberico. Andretti Autosports' Garrett Grist is going to start on the outside of the front row. The championship leader, Scott Hargrove, that's him there in the white 38 car. He's going to start 3rd. Danilo Australia, the Brazilian, starts in 4th position. Row number 3 is Rowan Legecki, Felipe Donato, Dalton Kellett in row number 4, along with Peter Portante, and Jesse Lazaire and R.C. Enerson in row number 5.
And 6 different teams amongst the top 7 cars on the grid. That shows, I think, the equality of the teams here in USF2000.
Classic road course, one you have been to many times, Connor.
Yeah, it's a great place and an awesome track for racing. These guys, a huge field here for USF2000, which is great to see. And it's going to be, another competitive race for these guys, and it's all going to be a huge part of the race will be turn 1 at the start. So we'll see who's got the best brake foot.
It is a massive field, 28 cars. Race 1 was won by Neil Alberico from the pole. It was run in the wet, mostly under caution, just a couple of green flag laps. We also see Garrett Grist and Scott Hargrove had challenging race 1s. They're starting up in the front in race number 2. It is a rolling start. Keep in mind, this is turn number 1 they're going through here, but because of how short the main straight is in front of the pits, this is one where they will start on the backstretch, turn number 3.
Yeah, and that's one of the signatures things here at Mid-Ohio, because on that back straightaway is that big run down to the first corner, Connor.
Yeah, and I accidentally called that turn 1. I just think that I've always seen the starts there, and it's always exciting because it's such a long back straight, and it's a huge brake zone, which obviously creates massive overtaking.
This is turn number 2, and they are filed up and ready to go. The pole sitter, Neil Alberico, will start driver's right. That's the left side of your screen. Waiting and watching for the flag. They start to accelerate, and Alberico will jump to the front, and the green flag waves, and Hargrove is going to jump into second on Garrett Grist. He's going to look to the inside. Hargrove is going to try to go around to the outside, taking a look at Alberico, and that's going to allow Grist to get back to second position. Australia settles into 4th.
That was a great move by Garrett Grist there. He got jumped at the start by the 2 Cape Motorsports and Wayne Taylor cars, but he made a great comeback there going over the top of the hill, Connor.
Yeah, exactly. It was a shame to see him get jumped at the start, but he really kind of saved himself there in turn just going up the hill.
So it's Alberico, Grist, Hargrove, Australia, and Rowan Legecki in 5th. Peter Portante is back there in the red car. He's already picked up a couple of positions, and he's running in 6th position.
Oh, yeah, behind the 2 that's Rowan Legecki off the road, and a spin also there. That is Felipe Donato, the young Brazilian drivers for Arms Up Motorsports. Those 2 were dicing over 5th and 6th positions. Now Donato right to the back of the field.
So Donato in the 51 car will keep it going, and we will stay green. So 1 lap is complete, and Alberico, he has the white car, but you can notice the yellow on the front wings, how to distinguish it. There's Hargrove running in the 3rd position. He has red on the front wing.
Yeah, those top 4 cars, because of that spin amongst Donato and Legecki, they've opened up a gap over the now 5th place car, which is Peter Portante for Bellardi Auto Racing.
And there's a ton going on here, which is fantastic. You have going into the big brake zone, an entire pack of cars all together. It creates a lot of excitement. And, we see a lot of great moves here for, a few positions.
So competitive in this series. Everybody using Van Diemen's chassis, everybody using the same Mazda MZR engine. They're super reliable. They can last a whole season without being rebuilt. It's just a tremendous class of racing. And of course, they're all on the same Cooper tires as well. So it's just down to the teams to give the drivers a good setup, and then the drivers to make use of that good setup on these race cars.
And the reliability and the opportunity to last an entire season for the engines, Connor, is huge. You understand about trying to find a budget. Anywhere you can save some money helps a young driver.
Absolutely. I mean, I always looked up to the USF2000 series when I was growing up. It was just kind of that series that you always had to do as a driver growing up, and you've seen so many huge names come through this series, and with the Mazda Road to Indy the way it is now, the value is incredible, and the rewards you get out of the whole USF2000. Oh wow, we got a car off there.
That's Luca Forgeois in car number 8. He's making his comeback this season. He started off the season with the Z Sports Midwest team. He's been away for the last couple of rounds, but now he's back with Andretti Autosport. He done a good job in the first couple of laps. He qualified 11th for this race, but he was all the way up to 7th place in the early stages. That error there in turn 1 has dropped him back into the pack.
See White good there in the 17. Right behind him was Austin Cindric in the 77 for Andretti Autosport. Great racing through the field.
When it's so tight like that, it's so easy to get freight trained, which is happening right now to Forgerois, and that's just, you know, it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah, that's right. One little mistake there, and he runs off the road, as you say, the whole train of cars goes past him. But this is great racing. It's a great way for drivers to get out. It's really the first rung on a professional career for many of these guys. You know, they're proper racing cars, slick tires, wings, a good bit of downforce on these cars, a great learning tool.
That's Michael Epps in the red 44 car that we saw off momentarily. A 21-year-old from the UK for Bilardi Auto Racing. He gets back on, and we stay green. And so far, it's been the pole sitter, Neil Alberico, trying to go 2 for 2 on the day. An entirely different day. Perfect conditions for this race. It was a mess in race number 1.
Oh man, it was really ugly out there. I mean, the conditions were diabolical. There were incidents all over the place. As you say, most of that first race was run under caution periods, but it was still a great job by Neil Alberico, and it shows, you know, he's showing his experience here. This is his second year in USF2000, and this year he's taking full advantage of that experience and winning all these races. He's chasing here now his third win. He's won 3 of the last 4 races to move up into championship contention.
There's Alberico again, in charge here so far, trying to chase down Scott Hargrove in the championship.
There's Luca Forgerois again, more problems for poor Luca, and he's pulled it off there. He's actually not on the racetrack. That's the kind of escape road up there towards coming out of turn 1. He's pulled it to a safe location, but disappointing day for young Luca. He's a good young driver. He's not had a lot of luck, it seems, in his USF2000 career, but he's certainly trying hard and just trying to get his foot on the ladder and move himself up towards the Mazda Road to Indy.
Alberico won on opening weekend at Sebring, but 3 of the first 4 were DNFs. He was 77 back in the championship after 4 races, so he has climbed his way back in. Still a lot of work to do, but 28 back. But Jeremy, when he's finished, he's gone to victory lane in all but one of the races this year.
Yeah, he's very, very impressive, and he's a former winner of the Team USA Scholarship. And Colin Daly, you come up through that same ladder as well. You've got an opportunity to go over to England and kind of, you know, develop his craft.
Exactly, it's a huge benefit to a young driver's career, and you know, obviously he learned a lot from it, as did I, and Joseph Newgarden, who was my teammate when we did it. You know, Joseph's now in IndyCar, so it's an incredible opportunity for young drivers, and Jeremy, you give us an awesome shot.
Well, you know, what's great about it is that a lot of different people from within the North American racing community make that scholarship program happen, and it does give opportunities for youngsters, talented youngsters, to get their first foot in the door to move on up and into the Mazda Road to Indy.
That's Stefan Rudzinski we were looking at there, going to work on Michael Epps, and more problems for Luca Forgerois, and this time he has come to a stop, and it has brought out our first caution, and it is a full course caution. It's Neil Alberico leading, Garrett Griss, Scott Hargrove, Danilo Estrella here in Mid-Ohio. This is round 9 of 14 of the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda. Round 2 of 3 of the Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio with Connor Daly and Jeremy Shaw and Kevin Lee. Neil Alberico has led from the start. We've had a couple of offs already, Jeremy.
Yeah, on the very first lap, saw Felipe Donato spin, and also Jeroen Slagocki there also running off the road. The Dutchman, he loses quite a lot of ground. Later on, Luca Fourgeois also goes way off the road on the exit of turn 1.
Alberico has maintained the advantage, but more trouble in the back. That's Timothy Paul.
Very easy to make a mistake on that corner. Turn 1 is very, very fast, Connor Daly.
Yeah, very fast and a very easy place to make a mistake. And, you know, it's caught a lot of drivers out so far in this race.
And that was the reason for the caution there. Fourgeois coming to a stop. Lap number 8 is where we will restart. This is on the front straight. They head down into turn number 1. Neil Alberico leads the way. Garrett Grist is chasing him. Then it's Scott Hargrove, Danilo Estrella, and Peter Portante.
There's a problem there for Estrella at the first corner. He runs really wide, and his teammate from Bilardi Auto Racing, Peter Portante, takes advantage to move on up into 4th place.
And R.C. Enerson there in the white 10 car is going to look around the outside. Not going to get him there in the keyhole. That's turn number 2.
The 16-year-old R.C. Enerson there. He's moving up well this season. It seems that he raced in the national class last year, finished second in the championship to Henrik Ferrusev, but he is making good progress this year and beginning to show some real flair this weekend.
Around turn number 4, Enerson is still working on Australia. Not this time. More action back in the pack. Green and black car we're seeing there in the middle of the screen. That's Jason Wolf, one of 3 from Ohio in this race. He's having a pretty good run so far.
Yeah, from Mount Vernon, Ohio, and he's raced here a lot in the past. He came up through Formula E, Formula Enterprises, which is now effectively what is used here now as a national class in the USF2000 Championship. And we've got another couple of drivers. Scott Rettig, also from Ohio, he leads the national class in the early stages of this race.
And there's Estrella having more difficulty wide in turn number 12, and Enerson is going to get the position. He's in the top 5 now.
Yeah, and that's Henrik Ferrusev. He's driving for PRL Motorsports, the black car there, the young Norwegian driver. He won the national championship last year, won himself a little scholarship package, including a Mazda MZR engine to move into the championship class for this year, and again showing really good pace for that little PRL Motorsports team. Talking of little teams, alongside him there on the inside, car number 91, that is Florian Latour, 16-year-old from France, driving for J Motorsports.
Right now we're seeing Estrella struggle, I think, because he's got a bit of a problem with the rear wing. It looks to be hanging back just a little bit more than his competitors, so that could be throwing off the balance of his car.
Yeah, he is definitely off at this point. It is going to give up another position as Ferrusev will get around him. Yeah, that does not look right.
Man, that's got to be a handful, Connor.
Especially at this place and going through turn 1, as you mentioned earlier, where a lot of drivers were going off. You need the downforce from that rear wing, and when it's hanging back a bit like that, you're feeling a bit of an imbalance that's not very comfortable.
I mean, it was so tight amongst that pack in the early stages. You've got to assume perhaps there was some contact with another car that caused that wing to have some sort of structural failure there, and that is going to be very, very difficult for Danilo Estrella to continue.
We saw Brandon Newey and Austin Cindric running together there for a moment. Both their fathers, as we see now, Estrella pull off into pit lane to address that issue. Newey and Cindric's dads are very key in IndyCar. Steve Newey is a co-owner with Brian Herta Autosport. Tim Cindric is the president of Penske Racing, but special track, I'm sure, for Cindric as well. His grandfather, Jim Truman, owned this race course, was the owner of Bobby Rahall's 86 500 win.
That's exactly right. Jim's daughter, Megan, is married to Tim Cindric. And so, yes, they've got that whole family here. They've moved away. They used to live in the Columbus area. They've moved away now to North Carolina. But as you say, a lot of great ties to this racetrack at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
To the inside there, we see Jesse Lazaire taking a look in the 21 car, and he is going to try to go to Jason Wolf's inside. Not going to get him there.
This is great racing in the middle of the pack.
Yes, it is. I mean, you could just see he didn't quite have the confidence to stick that move to the green car there in front, and it's, we have a spinner there.
Clark Topey.
For JDC Motorsports, he's turned that car around. No damage, it seems like, at least, so he will be able to continue. He was running somewhere down the pack. He was in 20th place before this incident.
The Jonathan George Racing Development driver.
Yeah, and one of the driver coaches who's involved in this series, and driver coaches can really help a young driver to get to grips with a car and all the techniques that are required and their attitude as well. Let's see what happened to Clark Topey.
It looks like he's going to get some help.
Ah.
Timothy Paul in that green and orange number 6 car.
Yeah, the Screaming Monkey Racing car run by the Arms Up Motorsports organization. Tips his nose up to the inside there, Connor.
Yeah, I'd say that was a little bit ambitious in that corner. It's you can go too wide through there, but if he would have got the move done just the corner before, it would have been okay. But he tried to just stick it in there a little bit too long.
That sort of corner there, you can kind of make a move around the outside inside often more easily. You can make a move on the inside going into that left-hand corner at the top of the hill there.
Yeah, if you got two drivers who are being respectful of each other, you can kind of get around the corner at the end of the long back straight side by side, and then kind of keep it going through that corner there over the hill. And it's difficult to do, but it can definitely be done.
Felipe Donato there, the 51 car for Arms Up Motorsports. He had the early off, picking up a position back in the mix and gaining experience. And Connor, with such a deep field, 28 cars, you're almost always in traffic. How much is a young driver learning in these kind of races?
Oh, I think you're learning a lot because the competition is very, very good, and to be learning at the level that these guys are, it's great. It's a great championship, a great amount of cars. The more cars, the better. And right now, USF2000 has done a great job in kind of boosting the fields, and they've got drivers from all over the world competing here. And these guys are racing hard, and it's they're putting on a great show for all the people there in Mid-Ohio.
With the scholarship prizes are up for grabs for this Mazda Road to India. So we see Tim Paul serving a drive-through penalty as a result of that contact with Clark Topey. But the Mazda Road to India, the scholarship prizes from Mazda to move up to the next rung on the Mazda Road to India, eventually with the goal of racing the Indianapolis 500 and the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Exactly. There's nothing like that in the world right now. I mean, it's been a huge part of my career. I've won 2 scholarships from the Mazda Road to Indy, and I wouldn't be where I am today without the Mazda Road to Indy. So it's very, very cool to have them, putting so much effort into American motorsports, and I'm just thankful, every day to what Mazda does for young drivers.
Neil Alberico is in charge, leading Garrett Grist. Scott Hargrove is 3rd, Peter Portante 4th, R.C. Ederson is 5th. And in the double headers, and in this case a triple header weekend, gives these young drivers a great opportunity, and again, it's more cost effective. It saves in travel, and you get to race in front of a good crowd. This is an IndyCar weekend.
It is, and there is a great crowd here on hand, and as you can see, perfect weather conditions. Neil Alberico there is in charge of the field at the moment. He's seeking his 5th win on the year, trying to move himself closer to Scott Hargrove in the championship. Here is Garrett Grist doing a fine job there in 2nd place for Andretti Autosport.
Yeah, Garrett's done a great job so far. He's trying incredibly hard to close that gap to Neil Alberico. Neil, my former go-karting teammate in 2007 at Top Kart, and it's great to see both of those guys doing well.
Here's Scott Hargrove, the championship leader. He is running in 3rd. Peter Portante in 4th. Yeah,
Peter Portante, he won the Skip Barber National Scholarship last year. He was racing in the Skip Barber Series. He won that scholarship, and that enabled him to move into USF2000 with the Bilardi Auto Racing team, and doing a fine job there in 4th place.
It's race number 9 of 14, the 2nd of 3 this weekend. It's a 30-minute or 20-lap race around this 13-turn, 2.258-mile circuit near Lexington, Ohio. It's the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Working on lap 12, Neil Alberico leads Garrett Grist, Scott Hargrove, Peter Portante, and R.C. Ederson. Great crowd on hand here today. We're about 2/3 of the way of round number 2 of 3 from Mid-Ohio. It's the 9th race of 14 this season in the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda. With Indianapolis 500 veteran Connor Daly and Jeremy Shaw, I'm Kevin Lee. That's Scott Hargrove, the championship leader. He is running in 3rd position right now, chasing Garrett Grist, who's in 2nd, and Neil Alberico, the pole sitter, is trying to go 2 for 2 on the weekend.
Yeah, that Analytics Systems Race Energy Metal Action car, number 38 here, run by Cape Motorsports, Wade Taylor Racing, Scott Hargrove, the championship leader. But there is Peter Portante with that Skip Barber scholarship car right behind him and pushing hard.
And there's Furuseth, who must have gotten back around Garrett Grist. So Furuseth back in 5th. And Grist is going to try again. This is into the keyhole. Turn number 2. He's got the inside line, so Grist comes back and retakes 5th position again. And there's our leader, Neil Alberico, who has been running alone for much of the day. It has been a fantastic day for Neil Alberico, looking to go 2 for 2, winning in the wet, and an opportunity to win in the dry.
He set the fastest lap of the race just before Garrett Grist made that mistake, so he's now got a handy advantage, about 5 seconds now over his teammate Scott Hargrove in 2nd place. And at this stage, he's just got to bring it home, as we see Matt Murray making a mistake.
Alberico was confident coming in. There was a 2-day test here in May at Mid-Ohio. He was the fastest, and he says it's one of his favorite tracks. Connor, every race driver I've ever talked to loves the challenge of this race course.
It is a pretty cool place to drive, that's for sure. And you can tell Neil is just really comfortable with his car. He's kind of throwing it around, and it's free. It's, you know, he's rolling through the corners, obviously better than anyone else. And you know, he's done a good job with that Cape Motorsports team with Wayne Taylor. And you know, those guys know what's up in this USF2000 series. They run a great team.
They certainly do, and they're also using the fact that both Neil Alberico here and Scott Hargrove in 2nd place, they're in their sophomore seasons of USF2000, so they got some great experience last year, and they're using that experience to their ultimate benefit this year, Connor.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't catch on to that. That doing a 2nd year in a championship is really a good move career-wise. You know, I did it in the Star Mazda Championship, and you know, we came back for the 2nd year, and I had a record-setting year at the time, of course, and you know, we were able to win the championship in my 2nd year. And it's just you know, you just have that so much more experience after your 1st year. You kind of start the year at a massively higher level of preparation. And it's, you know, it can help you, because then if you win a championship, suddenly you're, you know, vaulted to the next level of the road to Indy.
There's Hargrove running in 2nd. The leader, Alberico, would have preferred Garrett Grist keep that position, because Alberico is trying to chase Hargrove down in the championship. 28 back going into this race.
Yes, I'm sure Neil Alberico, he might have seen Garrett Grist spinning around in his mirrors, and he'd be thinking, well, in one way it's good news because I don't have the pressure anymore, but as you say, the bad news is that it elevates Scott Hargrove, his championship rival, 1 more position.
Alberico leads, Hargrove is 2nd, Peter Portante is 3rd. We're going to see the white flag the next time around. R.C. Enerson, 2nd earlier today, running 4th in this one.
And that is Alberico. They're working his way through some of the cars towards the back of the field. This actually, though, is the battle for 2nd place in the national class. That is James Dayson just holding off Ryan Vera.
This is turn number 3. This is the original start line. We'll finish on the main straightaway. We will see the white flag the next time by. Alberico has cleared the national class traffic.
Yeah, in actual fact, they've just changed position. It was Dayson ahead of Vera, but now they are the other way around. So Vera there in that car number 25 for the Alliance Autosport team, well behind his teammate Scott Reddick, but doing a nice job there in 2nd place in the class.
Alberico is 20 years old, from Los Gatos, California. Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing.
In a league of his own today.
Race light protection, the Bondurant School, FormulaCarNews.com, some of his backers. Yeah, he has been hooked up.
Just driving so smoothly, isn't he, Connie? Just seems to be driving within himself there.
And there's the white flag. 1 more circuit around this course for Neil Alberico.
You know, you're right, Jeremy. It's looking easy when the car is so, you know, balanced and everything is working well. you can make it look easy, and that's the best day you want to have in a race car when things are going well.
And as you were saying, that all comes with experience. It's always as you were saying just a few moments ago, it's so important. If you have a good year the first year, but not a really winning year, then come back, do it again, and learn how to win races on a regular basis, and learning how to win and how to lose. It's all part of the game to becoming a better racing driver.
They all count the same, but I have to imagine, Connor, a driver enjoys more winning on an IndyCar weekend with a bigger crowd there, and the decision makers also still involved. Final few turns here coming up for Neil Alberico. He has been dominant throughout the day, looking to make it 2 for 2 at Mid-Ohio on the about 2.25 mile 13-turn road course.
The 9th round of the championship, looking like 5 wins for Neil Alberico, and just inching closer and closer to his championship rival Scott Hargrove in that battle for the $350,000 prize from the scholarship prize for Mazda to move up in 2014.
Through the carousel, turn number 13, back onto the main straightaway. Neil Alberico, the 20-year-old, has won for the 5th time in 2013 in the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda. It's a more than 6-second win for Alberico. He dominated, led all 20 laps from the pole. Scott Hargrove comes in second position. And here is the final rundown. Peter Portante comes in third. Another good result for R.C. Enerson from Florida. Garrett Griss salvages a 5th place position. Then Henrik Furuseth, Florian Latour, Jeroen Slegecki, Jason Wolf, and Jesse Lazaire rounding out the top 10. Alberico with win number 5, cutting into the championship lead just a little bit. So far, the weekend has been perfect.
Good race. I mean, this time conditions weren't anything to deal with. Full dry right from the get-go. But everyone's in the same situation, brand new tires. It's the first time anybody's seen the track dry all day today. So we did a good job on outlaps, and I think that's what the difference was today. The Cape guys, set the car up great, and lasted the whole distance and came home with the win. So big thanks to the Cape Motorsports and Wayne Taylor Racing crew. The track likes me and I like the track, so I don't know. It's just outlaps, maximizing every corner, changing driving styles given the track conditions that you have, the tires that you have. IndyCar lays rubber down, change your line, and that's what makes a difference.
A look now at the points. Hargrove maintains the championship and he gets to second late, so Alberico doesn't pick up a lot of ground. He picks up 6 points, so still 22 back. That great battle for third, though. Australia leads Latour by just 2 points, and also Grist and Gooden still battling for the 5th position. All right, we'll recap race number 3 from Mid-Ohio coming up next. This is the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda 2013 season recap. I'm Kevin Lee. The third USF2000 race at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course saw Canadian Garrett Grist of Andretti Autosport find his way to victory lane to win round 10, his first win of the season. Grist started from pole but slipped to second by the first turn behind Scott Hargrove. And mayhem ensued behind them, however, as Neil Alberico and Mazda speed driver Peter Portante of Belardi Auto Racing made contact and spun in front of the field, eliminating both themselves and 9 others as well. After a lengthy red flag period, the race was restarted on lap 5 of what became a 13-lap contest. Grist led the field to the green, followed by Hargrove, Anderson, Henrik Furuseth of PRL Motorsports, and Felipe Donato of Arms Up Motorsports. Hargrove pushed past Grist at turn 1 and maintained the advantage for 2 laps before Grist fought back, squeezing past Hargrove once again on the inside line, under braking for the keyhole. Mindful of his misstep in the carousel in the previous round, Grist was flawless, posting a series of fastest race laps as he pulled clear to victory by 3.3 seconds. Scott Hargrove was content with second, considering Neil Alberico's early exit. He did have to work, however, to maintain the spot from a charging Anderson, who secured his second podium finish in as many days. Norwegian teenager Furuseth matched his career best result with 4th, ahead of the Brazilian Donato. Afterburner Autosports' Wyatt Gooden earned the Tilton Hard Charger Award after moving from 19th to 8th. So here are the full field results, and we first might notice down at the bottom, 5-time race winner Neil Alberico, who was looking for a sweep of the weekend, finishes last. Grist up top with the win. Hargrove, the championship leader, finishes second. Anderson, Furuseth, and Donato rounding out the top 5. But it was Grist in victory lane for the first time.
It was a big win. You know, I didn't even think we were going to get back to green at one point with all the cars on the wall. But once we got back to green, Scott got me on the restart, and I knew I had to get him back because we had a good car yesterday, and our car was very good again today. So I knew I had to make the pass stick, and I just like to thank Scott for giving me the room and not putting me on the grass.
And in the championship, Alberico's tough day allows Hargrove to extend his lead. Garrett Grist jumped from 6th to 3rd in the championship, with Estrella and Latour rounding out the top 5. Coming up next, we'll take you to one of the most popular racetracks in America, Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca. This is the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda 2013 season recap. Thanks for staying with us for the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda 2013 season recap. I'm Kevin Lee. In support of the Grand Am Series, USF2000 headed west of beautiful Monterey, California, and the scenic 11-turn Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca road course with its signature corkscrew turn for the first of 2 races of the Allied Building Products Grand Prix. French teenager Alex Barron had tested only once for Afterburner Autosport prior to the outing, but claimed the team's first ever pole position, then led throughout the incident-packed 16-lap affair to score a maiden win for the team. Points leader Scott Hargrove qualified second for round 11, ahead of teammate and championship rival Neil Alberico, who sits second in the standings. But it was Barron who got a good jump in his first ever rolling start and held the advantage until Hargrove attempted to dive to the inside at turn 2. Contact between the two damaged the nose of Hargrove's Van Diemen Mazda. But swift work by the Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing Team saw Hargrove return to the track on the lead lap, but back in the 20th spot. Meanwhile, Alberico slipped into second as Barron maintained his lead of 2.5 seconds, with the second afterburner Autosport car of Wyatt Gooden in third, ahead of Bilardi Auto Racing's Michael Epps, who had shot from 8th on the grid. Barron held the lead to the finish, which came under yellow for a pair of incidents, the first involving Bilardi Auto Racing's Matt McMurray and Andretti Autosport's Austin Cindric. Alberico finished second to keep the championship battle alive, followed by Gooden, Andretti Autosport's Garrett Grist, and Epps. In the national class, Canadian Ryan Vera of Alliance Autosport claimed his first national class victory following a race-long battle with fellow Canadian James Dayson of Arms Up Motorsports. And the Tilton Hard Charger Award was earned by J Motorsports' Florian Latour, who advanced from 16th to 7th. And here again are the race results for round 11 from Laguna Seca. Alex Barron in his debut wins for Afterburner Autosports.
I really love it here. It's a really cool track, a lot of fast corners, and I love it. It was an awesome race. From the beginning to the end, it's a shame that we finished on the pit car, but I wanted to finish a proper race. But it's like that. It's the race. Like for the start and restart, like it was really good. Managed to pick up pace straight away from Neil. Now we have to work a lot more tonight for to be like quite the same as today.
To the points now. Scott Hargrove fought his way back from 20th to 11th to help his cause in the championship, and now holds a 31-point advantage over Alberico. With their results to date, too, the teammates have clinched the team championship title for Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing with 3 rounds remaining. The second race of the Allied Building Products Grand Prix at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca was greeted with over an hour-long delay due to fog, a typical occurrence at the seaside town. But when the racing action got underway, it was Scott Hargrove who returned to form with a commanding victory from second on the grid. Pole sitter Alex Barron held his advantage at the start over Hargrove, while Garrett Grist was able to pass Neil Alberico for third going into turn 2. Hargrove then went to the front when Barron ran off the road at the exit of turn 6 on lap 2, allowing Grist by and into second and Alberico to third. Hargrove then held the lead throughout, expanding his gap to nearly 3 seconds over fellow Canadian Grist. The margin was closed, however, by a full course caution after 8 laps when James Dayson crashed in turn 4. The restart set up a 1-lap dash to the finish, where Barron made a late lunge to the inside under braking for the corkscrew to swipe third back from Alberico. Hargrove, meanwhile, held off Grist, collecting his 4th win of the season, but first since St. Petersburg in March. Bilardi Auto Racing's Daniel Burkett finished 5th, topping his previous best result of 9th. PRL Racing's Henrik Furuseth collected the Tilton Hard Charger Award by surging from 18th on the grid to finish 11th. Here's the full race rundown with Scott Hargrove back in victory lane. Garrett Grist continues his recent run of success. Alex Barron with a great debut weekend, 1st and 3rd, then Alberico and Daniel Burkett. And after winning 3 of the first 4 races this season, Hargrove is certainly pleased to be back in victory lane.
We were racing in the fog this morning. We had the race delayed, so it was you weren't really sure what you're going to get when you went around there. Especially going up into the corkscrew, we really couldn't see much, so it was pretty much just go based off of what you'd learned earlier in the weekend and hope that there's nothing in your way. So it was quite challenging, but towards the end of the race it really cleared up, and it didn't end up being a problem. I think it was on the 2nd or 3rd lap. The leader made a mistake in turn 6 and just went off the outside, and he was in the dirt, and I passed him, and I think a couple other guys got by him as well. I was for sure disappointed to see the yellow come out, but I love racing here at Mazda Raceway. It's one of my favorite tracks, so I really wanted to get back to green to give it one last go, and I knew I had the car to beat everybody, so just when I found out it went back to green, I was, all right, let's do this, and everything worked out. Yesterday was difficult, especially since I didn't think it was in my control to do anything differently, so you're a passenger at that point, and then you just have to forget about it and move on, and that's exactly what we did today. So the team did a good job, Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing, plus we secured the team championship this weekend, which is phenomenal.
And looking at the point standings, no change among the top 7. Hargrove, though, is able to extend his lead, but it's not done yet still. 2 more rounds to go. Coming up next, we'll go to Houston for the final 2 rounds of the 2013 season for the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda. Welcome back to the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda season recap. I'm Kevin Lee. To the season finale, a doubleheader, and in race number 1 of the Marlin CNG Services Grand Prix of Houston on the streets of Reliant Park, Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor racing driver Scott Hargrove captured the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship, powered by Mazda Champions title, ensuring that the battle with teammate Neil Alberico would not go down to the final round. Hargrove started the race from pole position and finished 3rd to secure the title. With 3 wins in the first 4 events of the season, Hargrove jumped to the points lead early and never relinquished it. In the race, Hargrove held the lead from the start. A lap 6 tangle between Belardi Auto Racing's Danilo Estrella and JDC Motorsports' Scott Andrews set up a restart that shuffled the order. A magnificent pass by Alberico dropped Hargrove to 2nd, and then to 3rd when PRL Motorsports' Henrik Furuseth grabbed 2nd, claimed his first USF2000 podium and the race's fastest lap in the process. It was Alberico's 6th win of the season. It was taken under yellow for Florian Latour's shunt with the wall on the final lap. Afterburner Autosports' Wyatt Gooden added another impressive drive to go from 11th to 4th, as did Michael Epps of Belardi Auto Racing, who earned his 3rd top 5 of the season. Scott Reddick took both the National Class victory and title with his 10th Class win. The Tilton Hard Charger Award went to Austin Cindric of Andretti Autosport for a gain of 9 positions. And here are the final results. Neil Alberico on the top step of the podium. Note Henrik Furuseth with his 2nd place finish, his first podium, and that's the 13th different driver this year that has reached the podium. Scott Hargrove finishes 3rd, Wyatt Gooden and Michael Epps rounding out the top 5. Neil Alberico with a victory lane conversation for the 6th time this season.
No, it was good. I know we only had a few laps to get it done, so had to happen straight away. So we got a good run going in the last couple of corners there, and then he had to defend to the inside, and I took advantage of the grip on the braking line and went right on the outside. But congrats to Scott. Cape Motorsports, Wayne Taylor Racing with the championship again this year. You know, win the race and come away with the championship. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. So big thanks to the guys.
And Hargrove's 3rd place finish wraps up the championship for him with 1 to go. Neil Alberico is going to finish 2nd, then Garrett Grist 3rd, Wyatt Gooden and Florian Latour round out the top 5 with 1 more to go this season. And the final race of the 2013 campaign took place under wet conditions in stark contrast to the impressive heat that greeted competitors the past few days. Henrik Furuseth of PRL Motorsports claimed his career best starting position to lead the field to the green. 7 of the 16 laps were run under caution due to the conditions, but in the end it was Afterburner Autosports' Alex Barron grabbing his 2nd win in just 4 starts. The pole sitter, Henrik Furuseth, was 2nd, followed by Neil Alberico. Newly crowned National Class champ, Scott Reddick continued to keep Alliance Autosports' 100% win record alive with a victory again. The Tilton Hard Charger Award went to Brandon Newey of Afterburner Autosport BHA with Curb Agajanian for a gain of 12 positions from 17th to 5th. And the final results, Alex Barron with English heritage, who has lived in France, gets his 2nd win in 4 starts. Certainly he's raced in the wet before and used that European experience to his advantage on the streets of Houston. For the 2nd straight day, Henrik Furuseth on the podium. Neil Alberico also gets there. Danilo Estrella and Brandon Newey round out the top 5, and also good drives for Peter Portante, Austin Cindric, and Daniel Burkett. Barron in victory lane.
Wonderful cars to drive. I mean, I have so much fun with them. Comparing from Europe, there's a lot less downforce, so you can play a lot more with him in the corners. It's so cool.
And a final look at the 2013 point standing sees Scott Hargrove as the champion. Neil Alberico finishes in second. Garrett Grist with an impressive debut season. He's the Rookie of the Year and finishes third in the overall championship. Henrik Furuseth is fourth, and Wyatt Gooden comes in fifth position. Furuseth, by the way, got that fourth place spot by just 2 points. But the season belonged to Scott Hargrove, the champion.
I couldn't be happier. You know, this whole Mazda championship, everything they've done for the drivers, USF2000. My team, Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. It's just been an unbelievable year. My teammate Neil, without him, we would not be this fast. We work together so well. The cars are always at their best, and I'm just so happy to be here right now. It looks like Pro Mazda for next year, which I couldn't be happier about. It's a great series to go into, and I'm stoked. The whole Mazda Road to Indy is just a phenomenal program, and I knew that this was the place to come. I didn't think I would win it this soon, but I can't believe I'm here.
So Scott Hargrove is looking forward to 2014 and the next step up the ladder to the Pro Mazda Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and we are looking forward to 2014 for the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda. Thanks so much for joining us for our season recap for 2013 and the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship powered by Mazda. For Jeremy Shaw and Connor Daly, I'm Kevin Lee. Thanks for joining us.